Friday.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, today is Friday. I almost forget.
Yeah, but we still have to work tomorrow. Or do you work tomorrow?
No,
Nice.
Saturday is my day off. It had been my day off for 2 years.
Nice. You must like that.
Yeah, before I used to work. I I would always work on Saturdays. On Saturdays.
Congrats. You said worked again.
No, I've been practice.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
That's excellent. I'm actually getting the first story ready. And who just, oh, and Sergio joined us. Hi, Sergio.
Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good, good. You ready for another class?
Yes, I'm ready.
Excellent.
Today's Friday. What time is in your country?
6 o'clock.
It's the same here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Are you in
Where
my
are you?
country?
I don't know. I'm in Chile.
I'm in Toronto.
Mm.
So welcome, guys. It's just the two of us right now, but I thought we'd get started anyhow. So I've got a couple of stories for us today. Now, being Friday, they're very interesting stories. But the same rules apply as in other academic English classes. We need to focus on what these stories are about, okay? Because we're going to have a discussion afterwards. So we'll take turns reading them. And then we'll have to determine, hey, is this really true or not? Because sometimes I take these stories from false news sites. They're not true at all. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm in Google Drive, as always. And Luis, why don't you go ahead and get started? First paragraph and the title, please.
Okay. Fake doctor boosted humans bottom with homemade implant containing cement and super glue. And this is a picture of HIM of him.
Oh yeah, so there's no picture, so let me just remove that.
Oh, okay. A fake doctor suspected of injecting a human's bottom with cement, superglue and tire sealant to give her a more shapely hair has been arrested.
Okay, rear.
Weird. I've never saw this word before.
It means behind. It's just like ear with an R in front of it. Rear.
Rear.
Excellent. Woman's.
Humans.
Woman's.
Humans.
Glue.
Glue.
Boosted.
Boosted.
Excellent. All right. Next, Sergio, could you read the next two paragraphs?
Okay. Um, trans transgendered woman, only Ron Morris, who by his own picture appears to have undergone the butt-busting procedure himself, is accused of administering the potentially lethal shots to at least one victim.
Lethal.
Lethal.
Accused.
Accused.
Procedure.
Procedure.
Transgendered.
Transgender.
Now, I'm not a doctor, but I think transgendered means you've had a sex change operation.
Okay.
All right, and your next paragraph?
The 30-year-old, who police says is a man but appears to look like a woman, was detained in Florida yesterday for the alleged incident in May 2010.
Alleged incident.
Alleged incident.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Excellent. All right, Luis, could you read the next two paragraphs, please?
Miami Gardens Police Department Sergeant William Benford said Morris first met with the as-yet unidentified victim to discuss the procedure. He said they agreed on the price of $700, which was intended for cosmetic purposes.
Cosmetic purposes.
Cosmetic purposes.
Unidentified.
Unidentified.
Excellent. Sergio, could you read the next two?
But instead, police said the victim was given a series of injections containing cement, mineral oil, and fixed a flat tire inflator and sealant. The incision was sealed with superglue shortly after the surgery was carried out. She went on to suffer severe complications.
Severe.
Severe.
Mineral oil.
Mineral oil.
Excellent. Luis, next two paragraphs, please.
Benford told WPLG a short time later she develops very serious pains, abdomen throughout her body. She knows something is wrong. He said the woman visited two local hospitals before heading to Tampa General Hospital, where she received treatment.
Okay. He said the woman.
He said the woman.
Abdomen.
Abdomen.
Thank you. Next two paragraphs, Sergio.
She had developed an infection of drug-resistant bacterial MRSA at the wound, and also developed pneumonia, but refused to reveal how it had happened. Sorry.
Keep going.
Doctors at the hospital, worried it was the work of an unlicensed practitioner, reported the case to the Florida Department of Health.
Florida Department of Health.
Florida Department of Health.
All right, Luis, could you read the next three paragraphs, please?
Okay.
But by the time they started to investigate, the victim had left the area. Morris was eventually arrested in North Lauderdale in March 2011. He has been charged with practicing medicine without a license and causing bodily harm. The alleged incident is the latest in the long line of instances where humans have suffered complications following illegal bottom enhancement procedures.
Okay, alleged incident.
Alleged incident.
Harm.
Harm.
Excellent.
Sorry, what does it mean? What does mean alleged? Alleged?
Well, until it's been proven, it's alleged.
Okay.
We might have photos, we might have a lot of evidence, but until they've been convicted, if we were to say they are guilty, then we could get sued because we're making a judgment on the person when they haven't been convicted yet.
Okay, thanks.
Right, Sergio, the next two paragraphs, please.
In February 20-year-old British student Claudia Adertomi from London died following a cosmetic Botox injection administered in a Philadelphia hotel room. In January, Valeska Castillo, an unlicensed practitioner in New York City, was arrested for running an illegal business out of her home, injecting women with liquid silicone in the buttocks and breasts.
Silicone.
Silicone.
Unlicensed practitioner.
Unlicensed practitioner.
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 Okay, excellent. Well done. Adrian, I see you've joined us. Do you have Google Drive open?
Hello, yes, I do.
Okay, could you read the 2 paragraphs that I have highlighted, please?
Okay. And in 2010, a Miami woman, Ana Josefa Sevilla, was charged with a similar crime after one of her clients ended up in the emergency room with complications. Buttock enhancement surgery is becoming popular in the US among women who aspire to the shapely curves of Jennifer Lopez, Beyoncé, and singer Nicki Minaj.
Thank you. Luis, the last 2.
The illusion of a larger backside has become increasingly more fashionable among young humans since the rise of the rip-rop running phenomenon. But experts have said undergoing unlicensed procedures is like playing Russian roulette.
Hip Hop Honey.
Hip hop honey.
Woman.
Woman.
Fashionable. Illusion.
Illusion.
Increasingly. Perfect. Okay. So, what's this story about, guys?
This story is about fake surgeries or bad practice about some bad practice about some doctors for women who want how do you say
They want enhancement surgery?
Yes, enhancement surgery in her backs, like Jennifer Lopez and other girls.
Well, it's not fake surgery, is it? It's not an accurate way to say it, that it's fake surgery, because they are having a procedure done, right?
Mm.
So the procedure, I wouldn't say is fake. You're close, very close. Luis, what would you say? Tell us more about this. What's wrong?
I guess it's doctors without license for be a surgeon, and it's make the procedure in the wrong way. And the people believe that they are real surgeon, and sometimes, all the time, harm the patients because the procedure is totally wrong.
Yeah, so Sergio, what you were saying is that it was a fake procedure. That's not necessarily true. It's more like a fake doctor, right? Mm-hmm. But there is a procedure being done on these people. It's unlicensed. How will you say it? They're not medications. The stuff being injected is very dangerous. We're talking about tire sealant, silicone, and cement, mineral oil. These are not things that should be injected inside the body. Andrian, what else can you tell us about this story?
didn't read till the first, so
No, you came in kind of late, so what did you hear?
I heard about an incident.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and good, Luis. Yeah, guys, I want to encourage you guys. At the end of the story, I'll say what it's about, give you guys a chance to write more information. So yeah, in Brazil, or anywhere, this is called malpractice. But in this case, the person is not a real doctor. They're impersonating a doctor. So it's criminal.
Yes.
Right? I don't even know if malpractice applies here. I thought only doctors could be liable for malpractice. Let me just see here. Improper, illegal, or negligent professional activity or treatment by a medical practitioner, lawyer, or public official. So it can only be malpractice if it's actually done by a professional, right? So, Luis, if you did this to somebody, it would be malpractice. If I did it, it would be criminal.
Yes, but for the doctor who doesn't have license, it's a crime as well.
Oh yeah,
they have to respond for 2 crimes.
Yeah, it would definitely be a crime, right? Either way. But that's if this is a true story, right? So I'd like to know your thoughts. Is this an actual real story, or is this something I picked off the Onion News Network?
There are many technical explanations in this article. I guess it's true.
Okay.
Yes, I believe the same, because, for example, in Chile, in the north of Chile and the south of Peru, there is a place who called Tacna, and in this place there are a lot of false medic doctors who doing these procediments with oil, minerals, cement, and all these things.
Oh dear, not good. And Andrian, true or false?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Is this a true story, or did I make this up, or did I take it from the Onion Network? True or false?
I think it might be true.
Yeah, it is true. Bizarre, but true. Now, I know, is that a French accent you have? Andre?
Yeah?
Is your accent French?
Yes.
Did you used to be Randy?
Yes, I am Randy.
Yeah, but it now says Andrian.
Ah.
So I think you've renamed your profile because it doesn't say Randy anymore.
Ah, okay, but you recognized me by my profile picture.
All right, well, Randy, let's go ahead with the next story. Why don't you read the title and the first paragraph?
Sick Oregon man robs bank for $1 to get health care in jail. Nobody sticks up a bank for a single dollar unless he has a particularly compelling reason. Emmett Sipp had one. The only way he could afford health care was to get it in jail.
The only way.
The only way.
Dollar.
Dollar.
All right, thank you. All right, Luis, could you read the next paragraph? You only get one because it's a long one.
Okay, on Friday morning, 50-year-old Al Sipp walked into a Portland area Bank of America and calmly handed the teller a note. "This is a holdup. Give me $1." Alcip then took his single-dollar bill and sat quietly in the lobby, waiting for police to arrive. According to the Oregonian, he had a history for mental illness, addiction, and dental problems that seemed to have gone untreated. Sacrificing his freedom was the price Alcip felt he had to pay to receive medical care.
History.
History.
This.
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 Remember how we do the TH sound, teeth together? Our tongue comes in between, blocks the air, then we relax our tongue.
This.
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 Better. This.
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 Look at my lips and my teeth, my mouth, everything here. This.
This.
Better. This week, pronunciation, we're going to focus on the TH sound once again, so I hope you can make that one.
Okay.
All right. Next paragraph, Sergio.
Okay. Alcib is currently homeless and has no past criminal record in the state. He was arrested without incident and charged with second-degree robbery, and bail set at $250,000. No.
Excellent. Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Okay.
Homeless.
Homeless.
Excellent. All right, Randy, could you read the next paragraph, please?
The price of healthcare in the United States has been growing exponentially in the United States over the past 50 years, far faster than average wages, which have been stagnating. For a family of four, healthcare is now even more expensive than food.
Stagnating.
Stagnating.
United States.
United States.
Thank you. All right, Luis, next paragraph.
Alcip is his name, Sergio.
Yeah.
Though Obamacare is already leading to a remarkable slowdown in healthcare costs and will help ensure coverage. For folks like Alcip, that doesn't involve going to the emergency room or going to jail. There is still a long way to go.
Thank you. Sergio, the next and last paragraph is yours.
Okay. Sadly, Alcip's story is becoming a common one in modern-day America, as poor, desperate individuals who are unable to afford proper care commit pseudo-crimes because they feel that prison health care is their only option. A North Carolina man in 2011, a New York man in 2012, and an Alabama man in 2013, all committed small thefts with the sole intent of getting arrested, and hopefully being able to get well again behind bars.
Thefts. Committed. Alabama. Carolina. Wow. So, what's this story about?
A guy has been committing crime for being arrested and receive health care because he is a homeless and don't have money. He doesn't have money to pay for the health care.
Okay, excellent. Sergio, anything else to add?
No, the same.
Okay. What about you, Randy?
Yeah, the same too.
Yeah, guys, do you think there's something wrong when a person has to commit a crime so they can get affordable health care?
Uh,
Or do you think this man is just a criminal and deserves to be behind bars?
I think he has psychic problems, maybe, because in the mind of a criminal, if you want healthcare, maybe you have a gun and you will go a drugstore and get the drug.
I don't think he had a gun.
Mm,
How much money did he rob the bank for?
$1.
$1.
What message is he trying to send? He only stole $1. He did steal it, but it was only $1.
Simon, I've read an article in the newspaper called Independent from Britain, and it's a curious story about homelandless. It's told a story about a guy from a country, African country, I don't remember the name, and he came to Britain to London and when in his childhood, so he doesn't have document, and even in Africa, even in the London, so he present himself for the police, arrested me because I can't have a document, I can't have an employee, I can't have a job, I can't have a marriage certificate. So arrested me for I can live in the prison. It's a curious story, but it's happened. It's increasing the rate of the situation in Britain. So I believe in this story. The story of his man. It's a sad story, but I believe it.
It's true, actually. It's a true story. Imagine that you're suffering pain, a lot of pain. No hospital will take you in because you don't have insurance. However, you know that if you're convicted of a crime, you'll have free health care. So you commit a crime. You don't hurt anyone. In this case, he didn't go into the bank with a weapon. He asked for $1. No, he didn't. He said it's a bank robbery. Give me $1. So technically, it was a robbery. He was stealing. But obviously, the message he's sending is, I just need help. Do you guys think he'll get a tough sentence?
In a desperate way to say this.
This was back in 2013, so I wonder what happened. Do you think this guy went to jail? What do you think, Randy?
I don't think so. I think he might be relaxed.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. I don't see anything on the internet.
I believe that the police in the United States, it's very efficient. So they arrested him, but the judge will be judge the situation.
It's hard to say.
In a trial, the judge will be make a strong reflection about it.
I'm trying to find something here. Let me see if I can find an update to this story.
mhm. Mm,
No, it doesn't appear to be an update. It's kind of strange that there's no update. Kind of makes me wonder how real it is. All right, well, let's move on to our next story. Oddly enough, this is also from the United States, although I'm reading these to you from British newspapers for some reason, although this one does come from an American news source. All right, here we are, ready to go again. Randy, let's start with you this time. First two paragraphs.
Portland officials are once again preparing to flush millions of gallons of treated water because someone urinated in a city reservoir. Water Bureau Administrator David Schaff said 48 million gallons will be discarded after a 19-year-old was videotaped in the act Wednesday.
Reservoir.
Reservoir.
Excellent. All right, Luis, next two.
Three years ago, the city drained a 7.million-gallon reservoir at the same Mount Tabor location in the southeast Portland. The open reservoir holds water that's already been treated and goes directly into mains for distribution to customers.
Reservoirs. 7.5 million gallon reservoir.
7.5 million gallon reservoir.
Okay, thank you. All right, Sergio, next paragraph.
The urine poses like risks. Animals routinely deposit waste without creating a public health crisis, but Schaff said he doesn't want to serve water that was deliberately tainted.
Thank you. Urine.
Urine.
Thank you. Randy, next paragraph.
There is at least a perceived difference. From a perspective, Schaff said, I could be wrong on that, but the reality is our customers don't anticipate drinking water that's been contaminated by some yahoo who decided to pee into a reservoir.
Perceived.
Perceived.
Thank you. Luis, next paragraph.
Water quality test samples have been taken for the reservoir with results due Thursday. The water will be drained into the sewage system that eventually dumps into the Columbia River.
Results. Thank you. Next two paragraphs, Sergio.
Okay. In the meantime, Schaff said the city has plenty of water to meet demand. It's easy to replace those 38 million gallons of water, Schaff said. We are not in the arid Southwest. We are not in drought-stricken parts of Texas or Oklahoma.
Drought-stricken.
Drought-stricken.
Drought.
Drought-stricken.
Southwest.
Southwest.
Excellent. All right, Randy, next paragraph.
The incident occurred shortly after 1 a.m. when Water Bureau security personnel noticed 3 men on camera at Mount Tabor Reservoir number 5. One was seen on video urinating through an iron fence, officials said. Minutes later, 2 other young men attempted to scale the fence.
Thank you. All right, Luis, next two paragraphs.
The 3 men, whose names have not been released, were cited for trespassing and excluded from Mount Tabor Park, a 19-year-old was cited for public urination. The kidney-shaped reservoir, built in 1911, is drained for cleaning each spring and fall. The spring draining was done about 3 weeks ago, the Water Bureau said.
Bureau.
Bureau.
Released.
Released.
Thank you. All right, Sergio, next 2 paragraphs.
The reservoir is one of 5 cities in the process of replacing with underground storage to comply with federal regulations. Flo Jones, co-founder of the group Friends of the Reservoirs, criticized the decision to drain the reservoir, saying there's no evidence any urine reached the water and wouldn't harm anyone if it did.
Reached.
Reached.
Evidence.
Evidence.
Criticized.
Criticized.
Co-founder.
Co-founder.
Next, please, Randy, could you read the last 2 paragraphs?
It's extremely wasteful, she said. The man who urinated into Portland's water supply in June 2011 eventually pleaded guilty to misuse of a reservoir and was sentenced to community service.
Thank you. All right, guys, what's this story about? Let's start with Randy.
Yeah, there is someone who urinated in a reservoir. So,
What else? Randy? Lost Randy. Luis, what else can you tell us about this story?
Yeah, someone urinated in the public water reservoir, and the government city had to take this water out, replace with drink water.
Okay. Anything else you can add, Sergio?
But the same reason the government has to have the decision about drain the water.
Yep, they had to drain the water, which cost a lot of money.
Yes, it was dangerous for the people.
Is it? Keep in mind, this is an open-air reservoir, like a lake. Is it dangerous that somebody may have urinated in a reservoir? Luis, how dangerous is urine?
The urine.
Yeah, how toxic is urine? How much bacteria is in urine?
Actually, urine in a normal person is sterile.
Yeah, it's sterile because it's full of ammonia, right?
Yes, because of that as well.
All right, so we have a reservoir that's filled with water. It's outdoors, and a guy urinated in it. Urine is generally pretty safe, yet they decide to drain and release all the water. Yet, birds can be flying by and dropping feces in it. Other animals could swim in it, and we don't know. Anybody find this story a little strange?
Yeah, for me, draining a reservoir is strange.
Yeah. Now, what I thought was strange too, most cities that have reservoirs, they don't put the treated water in the reservoir. For example, where I used to live, I got my water from a lake. We had a water treatment plant. It would pull the water from the lake, treat it, and then send it into town. We had kids swimming in it that were peeing in it. We had fish in it that were peeing in it and defecating. We had other animals in the lake. We had runoff from rivers and streams. They would never drain the lake because somebody peed in it. Luis, do you think it's a strange story?
Yeah, I guess so, because the Portland, it's a developed city, so there is certainly a way to treat the water from the reservoir.
Yeah, maybe what they should do instead of treating the water and putting it in a reservoir is one of two things. Store the water in the reservoir, then treat it and send it out for distribution, or build a large metal tank to store the treated water in. But here's something interesting. Once you treat water with chlorine, and I'm familiar with this process because that's how we do it in my city, we treat the water, we then send it through the main system. We have various measuring stations throughout the system to check the chlorine levels. We call them residuals. If the chlorine has dropped below a certain amount, we inject more in the water to keep it clean. Because once you take that water and put it into the water mains, you've got tree roots in there. You've got all sorts of things. Bacteria can get back into the water. Feces can get into the water if it runs near a farm. So that's why we make sure there's a certain level of chlorine in the water. So this is where I'm confused. So this town here, they treat the water, then put it in a reservoir. Don't they treat it again? What do you think, Randy? Am I making sense?
It doesn't make sense, yeah, for me, because, like you said, it's not the right measure, because you have to repeat the same process after, and
Yeah, it just, I don't understand how they're treating the water. It doesn't make sense. Sergio, what do you think?
I think the same way, because if the water is in the reserve before arrive to our homes, he needs a treatment with chlorine and in my city fluor too.
Fluorine, yeah.
Fluorine. So the PPA haven't results damage for the health.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, guys, none of our water is distilled before we get it. We pull it from rivers, streams, or the ocean, where there's bacteria and all sorts of things in there, and we treat it so we can drink it. We then store it in reservoirs or towers. So a large city will have many reservoirs or towers to help keep pressure. But water inside those reservoirs and towers is treated to make sure that it's safe to drink, because chlorine breaks down pretty quickly. And if you take a lot of water and you store it someplace, well, eventually that chlorine breaks down and the water can then become unsafe to drink. Not if somebody pees in it, but if you've got animals swimming in it or defecating, that would be far more dangerous than a teenage boy peeing in the water. I mean, how many of us have swam in a public pool? I can guarantee you, if you've coughed up some water, there's been some urine in it. And by the way, if you've been swimming in the ocean, well, you're coughing up urine from other animals. So, you know, that's why they say don't drink the water. Don't drink the water.
How can I say in English that rate cauliform fecalis.
Coliform? Cholera. Are you talking about cholera?
It's a kind of bacteria that's the scientists measure in the water to see if the water is drink water or not.
Oh, drinkable water we call potable water. If it's drinkable, it's potable. What kind of tests do we do? Well, we may run many tests. We'll run tests, first of all, on the chlorine levels. We may run tests on bacteria levels. Some places might test for heavy metals or drugs. So believe it or not, when we treat water, guys, we don't treat it for drugs that may enter the system. So as you get drugs from your doctor and you consume them and you urinate, it goes into the water, the wastewater, it goes to the treatment plant. They don't treat it for the drugs. Those drugs then enter the water system, and over years you have a buildup of these drugs in the water. So there is some concern. Well, what's happening? Are we then, fecal coliform?
Yes. It's very common here in Brazil, measuring these rates or see if the water is drinkable or not.
Chlorine is one of the biggest or one of the most important chemicals to treat water, to kill bacteria like fecal coliform. What usually happens, there was an outbreak in Canada 20 years ago, not enough chlorine was dosed into the water. So again, you can treat the water and treat it well, but once it goes into the mains, if those mains pass nearby, let's say a farm, and there was a major rainstorm, well, you could have fecal coliform seep in from that rain, the manure. The rain can then seep it into the ground and it can go into the water main, which is why towns always make sure there's enough chlorine dosed in the water to kill off any bacteria. Okay, so is this story true or false?
I guess it's false.
Okay, Luis says false.
I think the same.
Sergio, Randy, what do you think?
I think it's a make-up story.
Yeah, I would think it's a make-up story too, but no, it's a true story.
Really?
Yeah,
in Portland.
Yeah, it's still fishy to me. There's something about the story that just doesn't make sense. Look, I get that you think the teenager peeing in a reservoir is a bad deal, but I'm sorry, it's not. If you're worried about that, what about all the raccoons and squirrels and mice that could be?
Yes.
Do you have fences to protect those creatures from getting into the reservoir?
It's a waste of money for the government.
I think so. Why don't you put that money into healthcare or something, or like food banks or something? 30,000 they may not consider a lot of money, but if that went into the food bank or something, that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, very strange story. All right, let's see. Do I have anything left? Nope, did that one.
My country, we have stories not like this. Back in the north, we have copper mines.
Yeah.
So they pollute the water, and the people in the north, for example in Arica, drink heavy particles,
Heavy metals.
heavy metals.
Yeah, you see, that's something very different. We have contamination from leaching, which is used to treat certain, or in the process of extracting metals. Yeah, very, very dangerous. Like if you live near any mines or smelters, you might want to move. Even in Canada, we have the oil sands. I wouldn't want to live close to those things. Well,
I don't
first of
know.
all, yeah.
I don't know if in our countries it's the same, but here in Chile, a lot of people now is buying drink water in bottles, mineral waters, purification. I don't know if I pronounce fine the word
Purified.
purified. Purified
Here's the
water.
problem with drinking water in bottles. I don't know about your country, but in Canada, drinking water in a bottle is treated like food and beverage. The water coming out of the tap has many more requirements. There's a lot tighter legislation about drinking water coming out of a tap than in a bottle. First of all, they're plastic bottles, so I wonder about that, what type of plastic is used. If those bottles have been sitting in the sun for a while, the components of the plastic leach into the water and become unsafe. And if they're stored for too long, it can become unsafe. Now, if you're in an area where your water is very tainted, then yeah, it's better than your source water. But in most countries, water out of the tap, most industrialized nations, water out of the tap is far safer than bottled water. Let me say it a little differently. It's not that it's far safer, it's far less riskier. In Canada, Nestle bottles a lot of water and sells it. I don't distrust Nestle. It's just that Nestle doesn't have as many legislative requirements governing the water they bottle as does the town that provides me with water. Right? So, you know, it really depends. I mean, if you're in an area where the water is contaminated, then yeah, you have to truck it in somehow. Bottles or other containers. Yeah, strange story. Well, guys, we've got about 8 minutes left. It's not really enough time to start another story. So let's look at the stories we've talked about today. Which one do you guys think was the strangest story we read? Sergio?
The most strangest story?
Yeah.
The last.
Okay.
The last. The most strangest story.
So you don't think a person injecting people's buttocks with silicone, tire sealant, mineral oil, and cement to be very strange?
Oh, I think it's true, and it's more common that we think. Oh, I said before, in the north of Chile, there's a lot of discriminate people who made these procediments.
True. Okay, good.
Sure.
Luis, what do you think? Strangest story that we read today?
Yeah, for me it's the last one.
Yeah. Why is it stranger than all the others?
Because I couldn't imagine that a city as Portland can has this kind of service of sending water, drinkable water for the citizens there. I couldn't imagine this.
Yeah, I kind of sense that there's something missing from this story.
Because it's a system too much vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
The entire city can be in the teenager hands.
well, it's just you've got, yes, okay, he peed in the reservoir. Bad teenager. But come on, you've got an open air reservoir where you've got all sorts of other animals that can get in. You can get stuff blown in on the air. Like seriously, are you watching out 24/7 for other things that could be going in the water? Are you monitoring the water levels or monitoring the water for other contaminants or bacteria? Like Luis said, urine is pretty safe. It's got ammonia in it. There's no bacteria. If you're that concerned about the ammonia from urine, well, maybe you should rethink chlorine in the water. After all, chlorine is a very toxic chemical. Although towns will tell you the amount that they put into the water is not. So that's why I find this, it almost seems like if this story is true, the person making the decision is not informed about water sciences.
Yes.
That's my thought here.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's look ahead a little bit. In 1 hour, we have game class. Now, I hope you guys can make it. In game class, we're going to use we're going to play 20 questions, Hangman, and Who Am I? And even guess that number to practice your questioning skills and your comprehension. Usually, this is a very fun class, so I hope both of you can make it. Are you guys planning on attending?
Yes, I'm planning.
Excellent.
I will try, but it's Friday here, so maybe I get
know.
out with my friends.
Yeah, I see that. There's not many attending my class today.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's better for you guys, right? If it's just this way, it's almost like a private lesson.
Yeah.
You get more talk time.
I don't know if teacher Kendra.
My last year, I studied English in an institute, so my teacher teach us oh damn is fucking Friday, like a short word. I don't know if is how you can write.
Well, I can think of some other games. It depends on how many we have come up, but I'm willing to try another game. So if you want to write down the rules, and then at the beginning of class you can paste it into the Google Chat or the Hangout notes, we can look at doing another game. I'd be happy to do that. So hopefully you guys can join me back here in an hour.
Okay, I will try. See you.
Excellent. Thanks so much for coming, guys. I appreciate you choosing my class. Happy Friday, and see you in 1 hour.
Okay, thank you, Simon. See you later.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Luis. Bye-bye, Sergio.
Bye bye.